Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. Decatur's Dia de los Muertos Festival, a colorful celebration honoring life and heritage, won't be happening this year. Organizers say safety concerns and immigration fears led to the decision. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala shows us how organizers are turning a difficult moment into an opportunity to grow.
The Dia de los Muertos committee announced on social media that this year's festival is canceled, calling it a difficult but right decision. They say it comes amid a national climate that's created fear for many in immigrant communities, even at celebrations meant to honor life and unity. On November 2nd, downtown Decatur would usually be filled with music, food, and ofrendas honoring loved ones. But this year's celebration has been put on hold. Organizers tell me, a veces hay que dar un paso atrás para cuidar a tu gente. Sometimes we have to take a step backwards to protect our people.
The current situation that our nation is in does not feel safe. We did not want anybody to come to the festival feeling unsafe. All it takes is one phone call to some federal entities to show up and, hey, we didn't want that on our shoulders. We're together in this, and if pausing and continuing once everything gets better is what we need to do, then we're going to do it. We are a melting pot. Every day is about learning something new, and we are selecting days where you can come and learn all about us.
The group plans to return next year with a revamped festival and new events like Cinco de Mayo, Día del Grito, and Posada de Navidad, turning downtown Decatur into a year-round celebration of community and culture. In Decatur, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
And Mari Juarez also says this pause will help build a stronger foundation for future celebrations, with Corazón y Cultura leading the way. They hope to keep Latino traditions thriving in downtown Decatur for years to come. And here's a look from Governor's Drive. Very quiet traffic there. Beautiful view above, though, on the way to wherever those drivers are headed. You can see that sunset, a lot of that sun coming down. Joining us is Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman with our football forecast tonight.
Well, it has been a fantastic Friday afternoon across North Alabama, Southern and Middle Tennessee, and that is going to translate very nicely into a wonderful evening for Friday night football. Probably one of the best Friday evenings we've had in quite some time. We're going to be talking about a mostly clear sky across the Tennessee Valley. Now, temperatures are going to start off in the upper 60s, lower 70s, right around 70 degrees at 7 p.m. But already by 8 o'clock, we're talking about the mid 60s. Temperatures going to begin to fall off somewhat quickly after sunset, and with that mostly clear sky, 65 degrees, 63 by 9, 61 degrees by the time we get to 10 p.m. Now, in some of the more rural locations, I think by the time we get to the later part of the third quarter and then through the fourth quarter, maybe we're talking about the upper 50s. So maybe grab a sweatshirt as you head out to your favorite high school football game this evening. A little bit of patchy fog is liable to develop as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. I think that's going to be limited to the more fog-prone locations. Otherwise, we drop into the lower 50s. From there, we're talking about a fantastic weekend. I'll tell you about it in great detail here in just a couple of minutes.
What you just heard there was a powerful explosion at an explosive manufacturing plant in rural Tennessee that left people missing and even dead. Officials say the explosion happened around 7:45 this morning in McEwen, Tennessee, about an hour southwest of Nashville. The fiery incident occurred at a company that specializes in manufacturing military explosives. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis confirmed 19 people missing, and the department is being mindful of the situation.
Man, I'm just asking you to be mindful of these families. This is a huge ordeal. It's a very devastating ordeal, and I'm not talking about devastating on the scene. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about devastating in the fact of a loved one that just come to work and now may be missing or deceased.
Yeah, authorities are still in the process of notifying families and say they expect to be at the site of the explosion for several days. Back here in Alabama, police in Montgomery have arrested a suspect in connection to last Saturday's mass shooting. Authorities make the arrest today, but have not released the suspect's name or age. However, we do know it's a male under the age of 18. He's charged with 1 count of capital murder and 12 counts of assault. Suspect was taken to the Montgomery County Detention Center today. The shooting happened Saturday around 11:30, killing 2 people and injuring 12 more. Police are still investigating. Back here in Huntsville, police are investigating a shooting that happened today. Police say the shooting happened at 2:40 p.m. this afternoon near the 2600 block of Hilltop Terrace. One person was taken to Huntsville Hospital with life-threatening injuries. So far, no one is in custody. Two gates at Redstone Arsenal will have new hours starting Tuesday. Gates 1 and 7 will close for inbound traffic at 1:30 p.m. After that, the gates will remain open for outbound traffic only. According to officials, commercial vehicles will need to use the far right lane of Gate 9 after 1 p.m. No reason was given for the new hours. Tennessee Highway Patrol setting up sobriety checkpoints across the state this month with a goal to reduce impaired driving and prevent alcohol-related crashes. Troopers will be stationed at key locations in both urban and rural counties, including Shelby, Giles, Lawrence, and Maury counties. You're reminded to plan ahead, designate a sober driver, and never ever drive while under the influence. We have a full list of scheduled checkpoints. Just go to FOX54.com. Huntsville City Council has elected its new president. District 3 Council member Jenny Robinson was elected during its annual organizational meeting. Robinson will preside over meetings and manage council administrative duties. District 4 Council member Bill Kling was elected president pro tem and will lead meetings when Robinson is absent. Ardmore's water woes hasn't been resolved after nearly 2 months, and residents say they're fed up. Back in August, the city was disconnected from the Limestone County Water Authority. The city addressed concerns during meeting with the inclusion of a new water system, but residents on social media say the issues have been going on for more than 5 years, with one person saying her water bill has gotten even higher. The meeting is Monday at 6:30 p.m. at the Ardmore Municipal Annex building on Main Street. The execution of death row inmate Anthony Boyd has officially been scheduled. Governor Kay Ivey has set a 30-hour time frame for the execution. Boyd is scheduled to be executed by nitrogen hypoxia on October 23rd at the William C. Hallman Correctional Facility in Atmore. Boyd was convicted for killing Gregory Hughley in Talladega County in 1993. He maintains he did not commit the 93 murder. His supporters have launched a billboard campaign urging the state to halt the execution. Public school enrollment in Alabama could see its largest decline in 40 years. Alabama State School Superintendent Eric Mackey says only about 12 schools have seen growth in enrollment, while other districts have seen numbers decline. The loss of students is a nationwide problem. The National Center for Education Statistics expected a decline in public school enrollment due to growth in private and charter school enrollment and the general aging of the population. In Alabama, about 3,000 students are taking Choose Act funds to go to a private school. And Mackey says he's also concerned with the 2,100 students who were enrolled last year that never showed up for school this year. The USDA will begin its annual oral rabies vaccination program today in parts of northeast and north central Alabama. The 3-week campaign will distribute vaccine-laced baits across a 14,000 square kilometer zone in 14 counties, targeting raccoons and other wildlife. Low-flying airplanes and helicopters will drop plastic packets coated with fish-scented vaccine over rural areas, while USDA personnel will hand distribute oral vaccinations in Birmingham metro neighborhoods. The superintendent of Guntersville City Schools stepping down. Dr. Jason Barnett is stepping down to become executive director of the School Superintendents of Alabama, the district announced. The board plans to meet in the coming weeks to develop a search plan for Barnett's replacement. He begins his new role at the beginning of next year. Lawrence County Commission has decided that Christmas on the Square will not be allowed to return to the courthouse lawn in downtown Moulton this year. Commissioner Bobby Birch made another motion to allow the event to be held on the newly restored courthouse lawn. However, the motion failed. While the future is uncertain, the committee says community backing has been overwhelming, and they are committed to preserving the spirit and togetherness. If you see smoke in Tony tomorrow, don't panic. Tony Volunteer Fire and Rescue holding a live training burn at 9 a.m. Live burn training gives firefighters realistic experience managing fire behavior, coordinating teams under pressure, and applying tactical operations in a controlled setting. The exercise is being conducted off of Matlock Road, and crews ask that you stay away from the training area.
This is an important decision, not just for the state of Illinois, but for the entire country.
No National Guard troops inside in Illinois, a temporary restraining order in effect to stop President Trump's deployment. You've got to look at the ICE detention center there. And it's homecoming weekend at Alabama A&M University. Look at how HPD is handling traffic while road projects are underway. Stay with us. Alabama A&M University's homecoming game is this weekend, and fans are excited for the most packed homecoming yet. Attendance for the game has increased year over year, and the Huntsville Police Department says it's also getting prepped for the big game tomorrow. The department is planning to divert traffic on North Memorial Parkway, station officers at various points around the area, and make sure people are getting around safely. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us how traffic will be impacted leading up to the big game.
Among construction projects on North Memorial Parkway, the usual traffic, and a packed stadium. Alabama A&M's homecoming game against Mississippi Valley State tomorrow at 2 p.m. will bring extra people to the area, but the Huntsville Police Department has a plan in place to keep things as smooth as possible. According to HPD's plan, North Memorial Parkway will be split in half. The left side will be for regular traffic, while the right lanes will be for those heading into the stadium. In addition, HPD will have officers working extra hours to direct traffic, set up cones, and keep people from cutting through nearby parking lots to beat the line. They'll also close several U-turn lanes and have officers inside the stadium for public safety. HPD officials say the goal is to prevent slowdowns, but they add that people should still get to the game early to beat the traffic. All of that starts tomorrow morning between 10 and 11 o'clock, and they'll open up some of those lanes during the game. Captain Tony McAleer with HPD explains the plan.
There'll be officer stays at those locations to remind people, but it's just for the safety of everybody. I know it's could be considered an inconvenience, but it's not meant to be an inconvenience. It's meant to, again, improve the traffic flow, improve the safety to make sure that people can get to and from the game or travel through that area safely. Be realistic and understand that you're going to need to expect delays.
Captain McAleer says their current plan has been in place for a few years, and it's the best one they have yet for navigating the extra traffic on North Memorial Parkway. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
The game starts at 2 p.m. HPD will head out there in the late morning to get everything set up, and they'll be working with campus police to get everyone out of the stadium safely after the game. National Guard troops started patrolling in Memphis, Tennessee today, even after judges stalled President Trump's plans to deploy troops to assist immigration and custom enforcement agents in other states. President Trump's efforts to deploy federalized National Guard troops to Democratic-led cities prompted a series of legal showdowns. Maribel Gonzalez reports.
Members of the National Guard absent Friday from outside an immigration and customs enforcement facility in Broadville, Illinois, just outside Chicago. This after a U.S. District Court judge issued a temporary restraining order halting President Donald Trump's deployment of National Guard troops in Illinois for 2 weeks.
This is an important decision not just for the state of Illinois, but for the entire country.
Demonstrations outside ICE facilities in Metro Chicago and Portland, Oregon have served as flashpoints for Trump's deployments. He said federal muscle is needed to address crime. The White House says it plans to appeal the Illinois decision, even as more Republicans are beginning to criticize the strategy.
He's identified the right problem, but I think he's going for the wrong solution. Even if we had approval from the judges to send these National Guard troops, it's a temporary solution. In a separate ruling, this video of a Chicago pastor repeatedly shot by pepper balls during a demonstration outside the Broadview facility led a different federal judge to grant a temporary restraining order limiting the types of force and crowd control measures federal agents can use against protesters. The Department of Homeland Security has defended the agents' actions, saying protesters blocked agents and threw rocks and bottles.
Well, there was no warning for any of these things. After they shot me in my head and my face and multiple times in my torso, arms, and legs, it was indiscriminate and it was vicious.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Coming up, here's a chance to wander in a field of scarecrows this spooky season. One of the things to do this weekend. We've got your full lineup up ahead.
We are talking about a fantastic evening for Friday night football. Temperatures in the 60s under a really nice clear sky. That is going to translate very nicely into a wonderful fall weekend, and we'll discuss it in just a couple of minutes.
We have a Fox 54 traffic impact alert for you. Gates Avenue in downtown Huntsville closed for a private event. The closure affects the stretch of Gates Avenue between Green Street and Lincoln Street. Gate Avenue will stay closed through Sunday morning. Access to First Presbyterian Church will still be available from Lincoln Street. You're asked to plan ahead and use alternate routes to avoid delays. For more traffic impact alerts, go to fox54.com.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the Fox 54 Weather Impact Team.
Really, what a fantastic Friday we've had across North Alabama, Southern Middle Tennessee. We got to enjoy plenty of sunshine. We continue to discuss that lack of humidity, and temperatures were actually a couple of degrees below average for this time of year. In general, we climbed into the low and mid 70s today. The average high temperature at around 79 or 80 degrees. We could not possibly be asking for better weather for Friday night football. Now, under a mostly clear sky, I think our temperatures are going to begin to drop off somewhat quickly once we get just beyond sunset. Look at this, 70 degrees at 7 p.m., but 65 by 8, 63 by 9, 61 by 10. Now, if you're going to be attending one of the football games in maybe a more rural location, I might suggest grabbing a pair of jeans before you head out the door this evening, or maybe grabbing some sort of a sweatshirt, because in those more rural locations, by the time we get to the later part of the third quarter and then into the fourth quarter, where the most of us are going to be sitting in the lower 60s, I think some folks could be talking about temperatures in the upper 50s. And as you're sitting in those stands, you might find that if you don't have some sort of a sweatshirt or maybe a pair of jeans, you might be just a touch on the chillier side. Look how cool we're going to get as we head into the overnight. Temperatures dropping into the lower 50s across the Tennessee Valley. Now, I would not be the least bit surprised if somebody ends up dropping into the upper 40s across the Tennessee Valley. Certainly possible, not going to be a widespread thing, just a couple of isolated locations. Maybe a little bit of patchy dense fog develops across the area as we head into the overnight. It'll be one of those nights when you can leave the windows open. As a matter of fact, you'll be able to do that the next several mornings. We're talking about temperatures in the lower 50s Sunday and Monday mornings, mid and upper 50s Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, as far as an average low temperature is concerned, this is exactly where we should be as we get ready to head into mid-April. Maybe you got to mow the lawn tomorrow. I know I'm still watering my lawn, which means my lawn also still needs mowed. A necessary evil at this point. There's a lot of fall activities across the Tennessee Valley. Hopefully maybe you'll be able to mow and then participate in one of those activities. 57 at 8, 71 at 11, 77 by 2 p.m., 75 as we head into the early part of the evening. It looks like many of us are going to finish the day right around 78 degrees with a mostly sunny sky and a nice lack of humidity. Just as nice as we head into your Sunday, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. Just like I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if somebody sees the upper 40s tonight, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if somebody sees 80 or 81 as we head into your Sunday afternoon. Now, these temperatures have been nice, but the forecast beyond the next 7 days brings about a 50 to 60% chance that we're going to be talking about above average temperatures. What about rain in the forecast? Well, there is not a single drop of rain through the forecast period. While many of us are sitting in the abnormally dry category as far as a drought monitor is concerned, we're not currently in a place where we are desperate for precipitation. Back into the lower 80s as we head into Monday, and then from there we stick with the lower 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, but we hold on to the sunshine and the lack of humidity.
City of Athens celebrating the fall season by getting creative with handmade scarecrows. Scarecrow strolls encourages everyone to explore festive displays across the city and to bring the community together, highlight local creativity, and promote outdoor fun. The month-long event is organized by the Athens Mayor's Youth Commission. The weekend is here, and there is a lot happening around the Tennessee Valley over the next few days, and with some good weather, too, as Jordan told us. First up, Hayes Farm is hosting Light Up the Night for Cancer tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. It's a community walk honoring and supporting those affected by cancer. You can register for $25 to walk the trails and reserve a luminary in memory of support of a loved one. Here's your chance to adopt a new furry friend. The Greater Huntsville Humane Society is hosting a free fall festival on Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. Activities include a trunk or treat, lots of games, food, and 50% off pet adoptions. Then finally, the 10th annual Scottsboro Barbecue Festival is happening at 9 a.m., offering a free admission and more than 175 vendors. The event features family activities like inflatables, pumpkin bowling, face painting, and the Kids Q competition. And if none of these are your style, you can check out what else is happening this weekend around the Tennessee Valley at fox54.com. Mo, what's new with sports?
Well, the UNA Lions will try to bounce back from a tough loss with another league game against Central Arkansas. I've got a preview next.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Following back-to-back road games against ranked opponents, UNA is back in the shows for another UAC matchup this weekend. Tomorrow, Brent Dearman's team welcomes Central Arkansas to Brawley Stadium. The Lions are trying to shake back after being outmatched and overplayed against Abilene Christian in a 29-point defeat. Now, after that showing last week, Coach Dearman and his staff had to do a complete reset of their practice flow to prep for UCA.
Getting back to the basics a little bit at practice, getting back to a little swagger, getting back to who we are, understand what our strengths are, understand what our weaknesses are, and having a focus on once we're going to win us ball games, having that elite focus, that elite passion that you've got to play with at this level. You can't come out and play a B- game, a C+ game. You got to come out and bring it every single week, knowing that we're going 7 straight conference games. You can't have an off week, but right now we're just focused on 1-0 and a tough UCA Bears team coming here this weekend.
All right, Saturday's game in Florence kicks off at 3 p.m. You can check it out via ESPN Plus on the stream. We'll have highlights this weekend, especially on Fox 54's Sports Extra. And some sad news from the sports world. Loyola Chicago's beloved chaplain, Sister Jean Dolores Smith, has died. The university confirmed her death on Thursday. Back in 2018, she became a basketball sensation and a good luck charm for the Ramblers basketball team when they went on a Cinderella run during the NCAA tournament. She retired in August due to health concerns, and she was a wonderful 106 years old at her passing. She will certainly be missed, and she will always be known as a basketball icon, especially during March Madness. That'll do it for sports here at 6 p.m. Let's go to Jordan.
Have a good look at the next 7 days. Really, what a fantastic weekend across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures are going to be in the mid and upper 70s. We get to enjoy plenty of sunshine, a lack of humidity. We're going to start each day in the lower 50s. I certainly hope you're able to spend some time outside, participate in one of the many fall activities going on across the Tennessee Valley. Now, we are going to find ourselves back into the low 80s, but that's okay because we're going to maintain the lack of humidity through the 7-day forecast, and we hold on to the ample sunshine. That's going to be so nice. 80 degrees on Monday, a pair of 81s Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I've got a pair of 82s by the time we get to next Thursday and Friday.